So, as we used to do earlier, I am going to share a YouTube link and you all can join on that. So, we will use this Google meeting just for your attendance. And if you want to talk about anything, you can just quickly talk about here. But meanwhile, I am sharing the link on chat in this Google Meet itself. So, please. The whole reason is that you will have the session recorded, and if you want to try out these things, you can do it later on as well, like we did yesterday. So check the chat box. I have given the link for the session. So I will keep this one mute, and if you have any question, I have earphones with me on this one. You can just quickly talk about it. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen. People have joined in. Sufyan. Okay, so here what we do next is let's start with the last time what we have completed was these two parts, right? I have started sharing my screen. You just start your command prompt. Sorry, just start your VS Code and let's do that. You know how to start your VS Code now, right? You just go to your address bar, you type CMD, basically just you need to get rid of that. It will open your command prompt there, then you do code space dot and it will open your JavaScript. Correct, this is how it work. We did this last time. Still joining. Okay, for those who have been joining on the Google Meet, Okay, so last time what we did was about hello world, and a simple example in hello world, and with JavaScript we started with let and const as we start with a variable. Now next thing that we need to start with is all about JavaScript part. So let's do that. Next is next is objects in JavaScript. Okay. Next is objects in JavaScript. So let's try to start with that. Okay. So how do you create objects when you are in other programming languages? How do you normally create objects when you are in other programming languages? You do something as new, and then go ahead and work with that. Okay, just give 1 minute. Okay, now the plan is there are still so many people joining on Google Meet. Just a minute, I will add the link again in Google Meet. Okay, so first thing what we'll create is, let's say, how do you create objects in JavaScript? Let's call it as objects in JavaScript.js. So here what I want to do is we create, yes, exactly, how we create normally objects in other things. We say class name, some object name is equal to new class name, right? Now what is this class here? Class basically asks us to, like we have done Java earlier, right? Now you know in Java, whenever we have to create a class, whenever we have to create an object, we have to first create a structure around it, that is nothing but your class, and based on that class this can work. But it becomes hectic in JavaScript. They allow you to work with another implementation, what is normally called as working with objects straight away. How do we work with objects straight away? So they say, and this is something you will use a lot. So for example, how you do this is how we do in other language. Here I will do, let's say, const person is equal to, and then you start with the pair of curly brace. And in the curly brace, how do you write it? It will be like key, which is in string, and then your key colon value. Okay, key colon value comma separated. So for example, let me write, take this one to introduce myself. So my name is Jartab Nakwa. Okay, then okay, then what do I have next? Let's say age 33, blog. So I blog at www.codewithz.com. Okay, then let's say I have a function. So internally I can also add a function. I know we have not covered functions in JavaScript yet, but we'll go there. So I write a function, let's code, and this simple function I will just add up here. So I take console log, start coding. Okay, so you can write this object for yourself as well. So this becomes an object. Now when I have to, yeah, when I am planning to basically write an object. So see, this is my class person, This is my class person here. So if I just say console log person, see how does it shows me, like this is simple one. I will, you know how to start, right? I have shown you how to start the terminal. You go to, see, there are two options. Whenever you want to start the terminal after you write the code, there are two options. First, either you go here, go to the terminal and type this, or you can start with control plus, you see the tilde sign which is below escape. If you click that, okay, if you click that, it will start your terminal. So you do control tilde, and recommended is shift to command prompt, so that it will work quite good. And now what we do, node space objects in js, and see, it is executing my code. See, it is executing my code. So we have got these values here. Now there is a function, for example, inside this I want to call, I can call it, and this is how you start terminal in VS Code. Okay, so here I will say just person dot let's code. This is how I call the function. If I want to call the function straight away, see, start coding is called separately. Okay, now can we try this out quickly? Can we try this out quickly? This is my const person. Yeah, const person. Then we have got log and this one. Okay, I'll do what, you can try this from here, or I'll also start this on a code share so we can save some time and work on this properly first. Let me put it up on a code share. So this is my, I've given the link in the chat box. Okay. Try this out. Let me know. Okay. So you know how to execute this, right? How do you execute this? We'll just say node space, whatever file name you give it to this. Whatever file name you provide here, that is where you will specify, okay, this is how you are giving the name to this file. Yeah. node space whatever is the name of your file. Please don't cut paste from here. Yep, done. Able to execute. Simple, right? This one is simple. How do you create an object? Now I will tell you how this works very fine on this one. Okay, so when we continue on this part, perfect. Let's say I want to modify this object. Now, when it is in Java, it is not a big problem, right? You just go and update the class, the things will get modified for the class. But when you are doing it here, for example, I want to modify the object. How will I do that? For modification of the object, I have two options. I have a dot operator first. I can say person dot degree is equal to. So let's say I have masters in information technology. Okay. Then if you make this change and now you do console log person, so I am expecting this particular new entry to be added in my code. So that time, let's see, you can see that even my degree has been added as a part of my object now. You can see my degree has been added as a part of my object. So this is what my object is and this is how we are working on it. Next is, see, now next is very important. You know sometime what will happen. I'll give you a scenario now. Yeah, let's focus upon a scenario. So what happen is you have an object and you do the validations. Sometime you see that when we are working on some sort of validation, okay, let me explain you that in a proper way. Okay, sometime what happens, you have uh, a page, right, which has certain text fields, which has per certain text fields. To call let's code method, we have to call explicitly. Yes, 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 Sanchit. Without that, it will not happen, right? See, method very clear that whenever you have a function, you have to call it explicitly. No one can force like the application to call that straight away. So it has to be done. Okay. Now consider there are three text fields. Okay. There are three text fields. Now how will JavaScript, and I'm talking this now, I'm showing you why we are learning this. Why it is very important, because it will be important when we go to React as well. Consider these are three text fields. This require text and cannot be blank. Okay. This require only numbers. Okay, and this require an email. Now there are validations for in today's world. There are a lot of validations in today's world. So what we need to do here? Yes, we write regex everything, but you know that whenever you write, if you write something wrong, it will write some text message here that field is empty, not a valid number, email is wrong. So in the background, what is happening behind the pictures is they are maintaining an object. They maintain an object. This object is nothing but an error object. Okay, this object is nothing but an error object. This error object, the idea is that if I have anything inside this error object, that means there is an error in the field. And if you there is a button here, and that button is sort of disabled. Yeah, that button is sort of disabled. So now what exactly happens is, this will be, let's say there is a submit button, and the logic for this submit button is made such that if this object is not blank, if this object is not blank, do not enable this button. Okay, now the thing is, if you type something here, let's say ABC, so this error message is gone. So what happened, this object have how many keys right now? Key 1, key 2, key 3. Okay, so now to delete, if I am writing something proper, this key will be deleted. But let's say the second key was already there, but then you came back and deleted this ABC. So don't you think so at runtime I will have to add some new values into this object now? I will have to again add, like, okay, key 1 is added back with some new error. So for doing that part, you need to manipulate an object at runtime. Okay. Now remember, dot operator can only happen when you are at compile time. Like you before, when you have access to the code, you want to add something using the dot operator, you can do it when the code is there. But what you will do when the things are at runtime? For that reason, what we have, yeah, what we have is, see, this was how we were manipulating using a dot operator. Okay. But when we go ahead and we want to update an object or modify, we have another way using square brackets, and this is one of the best way. Yeah, how does that work? So let's say person, and I will say the key as, let's say, favorite color, and let me call it as black. So see, this might look okay. What is the big difference here and here? Yeah, what is the big difference here and here? This thing you have to go inside code and make the changes. But if I want to make certain more changes, see, I'll show you the most beneficial way. If you are able to derive something out in a variable, see, both of them, first thing first, let's see, if I do console log person, if I do console log person, and if I run this again, you see favorite color has been added as a part of my object. But now I want to derive it out as a variable, so I'll say let property name or key is equal to, let's say which city I live in. So key city, let value is equal to Mumbai or Navi Mumbai. Okay. And now I want to add this. So you tell me person of key is equal to value. Now see, I was able to assign it through a variable. So if I say console log of person, what will happen here? That city has been added. Now if anything I am able to access it using my variable, that's it. Now I can anytime change this value, right? The key and value can change anytime, but this code will not require to be changed. So this is the beauty while you're working with JavaScript to update an object. I want you to try this out quickly, please, this much part. Hey, for those who have been joining on Google Meet, please check the chat window. You have the link for the live session. Explain callback in easy way. Yes. Dilpreet, we are going to do the callbacks. It will be coming in, but just for your reference, let me give it something to you now. Callback is something we'll go in a while, not right now, but for callback, you can. Yes, that is fine. I have added a link in the chat box. You can check that, and I will show you which particular thing to look out here for. So, not this. You can check out my video on asynchronous. It's here. I have explained in a very easy way. So I will add the link to the exact video, and this is three video series. So you will be. I've covered asynchronous operation in very well manner, and yeah, we'll do that in when we go to our like sessions as well. But you can check it out here for now. Moving back to our code. Okay. So once we are done with this part, let me know once you're done with this. Then we can proceed ahead. Okay, are we done with this? Can we proceed? So this is a very important aspect. How do you work with an object? Yeah, how do you work with an object is a very important aspect. Now, just showing you how you can write an array here. Yeah, how you can even add an array inside this. How will you do that? And I'll show you the same way. I have taken it as let, right? So I will just change my key. I will just change my key because it's a let object. I am able to change my key, right? Sir, which way of writing function is better, arrow or normally? I prefer arrow functions, but but they have their own context. Like I don't know your name all for one, but we are going to do that when we like mostly after two more topics we'll jump into functions. So that point I'll explain you the context in which the function should be written. Both of them have their own utilities, but arrow functions are much more nearer to JavaScript part. And I'll tell you, using arrow functions, the life becomes much more easier. Only thing is you need to know the syntax, but faster is arrow function. Yeah. So I'll update my key. Let's say what is my text stack. Okay. So text stack, I will say my value and see how am I updating this time. I am for using writing an array. I am using an arrow and let's see some of the language. Let's say top five things I do normally. I'll work on Java Spring Boot. Okay. Then React, then Node, then data engineering, then DevOps, and right now I'm working on AI as well. So this is my key and this is my value. How do you add? How do you add this person? So you will simply just say again one thing: person of key is equal to value. And once you do this, this is the final one I have updated here. So it becomes I have added this, and then I say console log person. Okay, console log of person, and let me execute this. So see, this is the last one I have added. So my text stack has also been added here. So this is the new part we have done for adding an array into my object. Can we try this out quickly? Okay. Yeah. So this part done. Okay, now let's say this is where we added, right? We have added it here. We also need to delete. Sometime we also have to delete. How do you delete that? You'll say, for example, you remember this example, right? Something you have done. So now you want to delete some certain key. There are two ways again for deleting as well. Let's say I want to delete your person dot favorite color. Okay, so if I do console log person and I execute this again, see the favorite color is gone from the output list now. Yeah, and also at same time I will just say that key is equal to, let's say, degree. I this time change the key. I can also say delete person of key. This also works fine. And then if I do console log of person, what will happen here is, can we create object like yes, uh, yeah. So if you see now, even my degree is gone. So both of them, this is how you delete elements from an object. Yeah, deleting keys from a JavaScript object. Can we create an object with using new keyword? Yes, Sanchit, that can be done. We are going to do that when we reach the object orientation part of this. Can we use function also to create an object as a template? Yes, 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 you can do that. That is 100% fine. Using of object as a template. Okay. Is this done, everyone? Is this done? I will just object update this final thing on code share. You have the link for code share, right? For those who have joined in now, I will add up the link here. Yeah, so you have this code share object. Yeah, you can check it out here, and you know that we can push this to the repo as well today, right? We have learned about yesterday how to start with Git. I hope you enjoyed that session. I got good responses. Difference between for each and map. For each is used for just taking an element, displaying it something. Map can do transformations on top of it. So let's say you have an array and now you do for each. For each will do what? Take one element. For each element, they can only do some sort of printing stuff. That's it. But map can take some element, apply some operation on top of it, and then go ahead. So that is the big difference about that. Yeah, and map returns and for each does not return. It will just do some operation and let it go. That's how it works. Okay. So next, let's explore functions in JavaScript. Okay. Uh, Before we jump into that, I wanted to keep a track about what we are doing. Let me push this to the repo. So based upon what we did yesterday, I'm showing you this from a VS Code perspective. What I'll do is I will initialize the repository. I will say we have completed objects in JavaScript. See, when you do this for first time, this is what it will ask you. Like I have my account linked. When you do it for first time, it will ask you to log in into your uh, branch. So see, it is already connected to my code with Z account. So I will just add up here Hinduja corporate JavaScript refresher September, or I can just type 2024 2025. Okay, and I'll have to publish this to a public repo. So this will do what? Create a repository for me on GitHub as well. So if I say open on GitHub, see all my code on Git already. Okay, so this is where I will keep on maintaining this one. I am adding the link in the chat window for the Git repo. So this object, what we did right now, is already here. Okay, see how easy it is to work with Git. Given that you connect it with VS Code properly, if you want, I'll do a quick session later on sometime to show you how to like from a different account. I'll do that so that I can show you how to connect with VS Code. Okay. Now coming back, I want to start with functions. Functions in js.js. So how do you write a function? So function is a keyword, right? Function, let's say hello. It's a simple function, and you want, you can return something, or else you can just say console log hello, how are you? Okay, we add a function, and when we try to run this, will it execute? If I say node space function in JS, the code will execute, but will it show you the output? No. The reason being, if you have a function, you need to make a call to it. So how will you do that? You say hello bracket bracket. And now if you try to execute this, see, this works fine. So this is how you write a normal function in JavaScript. Yeah, this is how you write a normal function in JavaScript. So a simple function here. Then function will also sometimes return something. So let's say function format greeting. Okay, so I'm expecting you pass me a name. Now you see here, I'm going to take the variable, like this is the parameter as well. Expecting that you pass me a name here. What I do is name is equal to name dot to upper. How do you write uppercase? I forgot. Yeah, there is a function called as to uppercase, which is a part of a string, and then I have converted that name into what, uppercase first, and then after I have converted the name to uppercase, I want to let's say greeting is equal to hello plus name. So whatever name you pass, I will convert that, and this time I will do what, return greeting. Now you see one thing, when you are inside a function like this, you do not say let or const here. Yeah, you do not say let or const, you directly declare a variable. So it is not, it is by default let. Yeah, it is by default let. Now what you do, as you are calling a function for let's say format greeting, and I pass let's say name as Sufyan in lowercase. So this will happen, but it will return me something, right? So I'll have to take that message now. So I'll say const greeting is equal to format greeting, and then I do console log greeting, which should be formatted now. Okay. Cannot access greeting before initialization. Okay, here also the name. Okay, I will say this is as formatted greeting. Yeah, I have changed the name to formatted greeting. So saying what, hello Sufyan. This is how you take the parameter and also you return something from an element. Can we try this out quickly? This part, can we try it out quickly? Okay, what do I do for my living? I own a company called Asterisk Solution. So we are IT partners for one of the biggest FMCG in world in 7 countries. Apart from that, I do corporate trainings. I will share my LinkedIn profile with you. Thank you for asking. Okay, so yeah, so these are two of the functions I have created. What these are? See, I am trying to cover up as much as basic functions possible, so that you understand what are the various types. Arrow functions is something we are going to cover up in next session in depth. Now, another thing in JavaScript is, see, remember one thing in JavaScript. JavaScript considers functions as first class citizens. So this is something we'll have to understand how a function can be marked or can be assigned to a. So we also have something called as function expressions. How does function expression work? Is I have a function. See, I can assign it to a variable. Yeah, so I can say function say hi is equal to, and then I can write my function like this. Function, no need of a name, like no need of a function name, and here I can say return hi plus name. Okay, so I have got a variable here and a function. So this time when you say hi, see, it becomes easier when you want to travel, like the function can also be passed as an argument at this point. So this will just return a value. So if I want to print it, I'll have to say console log say hi to Tom. And if you check my output, see hi Tom. So it is helping me out with writing my functions here. Yeah. So I will add this up in the chat box. Sorry, on code share. Okay. Rather than adding it on, okay, I'll add it there, and then once I'm done completely, I will post it. Okay. Try this out quickly. Okay, can we write? Yeah, yeah, we can write that. Perfect. We can store functions in variables. Yes. So two, three questions. Instead of greeting hello, yeah, we can do that. That is also called a string interpolation, which we will be learning when we do go for the strings part. So this is good. I'm happy you all know JavaScript much better than more than I was expecting. Next is we have got IIFE, immediately invocation of function execution. So how does that work? Which is called as immediately invoked function execution. Here, what we do, we simply just have a braces. We say function. We can take like it's normally without parameters or with parameter whatever you want to pass, and that say console log, and we say invoked immediately. And how do you call it? You just call bracket semicolon, and now see, whenever you want certain function to happen straight away. Okay. Okay, why is this crying? Console log is not a function. Okay, let me check this. What went wrong here? I will come back to this one. Let me show you something what we have for default parameters in functions. So we have got something called as default parameters. So how does this default parameters work? So for default parameters, let's say you have a function and you want to say add numbers, okay, or I can say add two or add numbers. What I was looking, or increment by one or increment function. Okay, now increment I will take two values, number and by, and every time you pass me a number, I will say uh, incremented or console log number plus by. So it will tell me how much number this is incrementing. So if I do increment 10 by 1, okay, okay, so this becomes 11. Then I want to increment, let's say 12 by 1. So see, this is how it works. Now, if I want to change, let's say I want to say this by value should always be 1. So then this time when I pass increment, I can only pass one number, 13. So this is C, incrementing it by 14. So this is saying that both the ways are possible. I am specifying that by value is defaulted to what? 1. If you do not pass it, it will by default take it 1. But if I want to say, let's say increment 15 by 5, so it should give me what? 20. So all these things are possible. Yeah. These are how you write a default parameter. Can we try this out? Okay, so the functions code I have already added here. So this is something I'll check out why it is not working. So basically, the things I am going to cover up in this particular JavaScript section are already available here. I would like you to check that out as time whenever you have got option to check that out. Please do check it. If you go here in the playlist, if you check, I have a playlist on JavaScript for React Angular. This is the same playlist I am covering up in this session. We have started with decode object functions is something we are working. So these are the things we are going to do. So in case if you like to go ahead and do something, I have listed it here. You can check that out on this playlist. Okay, same thing we are going to do when we start up now. So this is what we have in our plan. And next session when we start, I will start with the arrow functions and higher order functions. So next session is very important. If you want to master Node and React, next session is very important when it comes to in that context of JavaScript. Okay. So thank you. What I'll do is we'll switch to don't log off from your Google Meet session. I want to just complete your attendance. I am stopping this video for now. Thank you.